Hi everybody, it's Monday, December 8th, 2008. Thanks for stopping by. I want to talk to you a little bit today about something I saw on Alex Jones' radio show. Now, I don't really pay attention to Alex Jones much. I watched him today just kind of on a lark, just to see what he had to say. Alex Jones is a fearmonger. I don't know if you've noticed this or not, but he is always talking about gloom and doom. And when the commercials come on his radio show, they're talking about, things for preparing for the end of civilization, or, crisis type materials. And they're selling things like gold and silver in case the economy collapses, which clearly it is, so that's not too alarmist, but they're always selling things which people would buy when the end is near, and they're always talking about the end being near. Now, the interesting thing is, if you go back to the year 2000 or to the year 1999, he's talking about how, if you go earlier than that, he's talking about how American leaders are devil worshippers and things like this, which is kind of ridiculous. And then he talks about how in 1999 he talks about the Y2K thing, and he seems to be implying that the end is near because everything is going to collapse because of Y2K. And then he has people, of course, there's always commercials talking about generators and stuff like that. And so, for as long as he's been on the radio, it seems, he's been talking about the end just around the corner. So it's kind of hard to take him seriously. And I remember one time, it's not as if Alex Jones never says anything that's true. Of course, I think he does say a lot of things that have some truth to him. He's on to a lot of things sometimes, but he always interprets it in the most alarmist fashion. He draws the worst possible conclusions that you can draw. And I remember he had Noam Chomsky on his show, and Noam Chomsky was actually agreeing with him to a certain extent. He was agreeing with a lot of what Alex Jones was saying, and Noam Chomsky is God. You don't want to question him unless you want to be shown up to be an idiot, because the man is the most distinguished scholar that is walking the earth right now, I believe. And he knows what he's talking about when he opens his mouth. Or he says he doesn't know what he's talking about. If you ask him something he don't know about, he'll tell you, but it's not often that happens. So Chomsky is, sort of agreeing with some of what Alex Jones is saying, but he also disagrees about certain points. And one of the things he disagreed about was, gun control. Like, Chomsky is sort of a liberal guy, and he's not a big fan of guns. And I think he talked a little bit about statistics of killings with guns and that he wasn't really in favor of guns because people are always shooting each other. And of course, Alex Jones is the big gun rights guy, and I sort of am too. I think people have the right to have guns, but people seem to think that if they have a gun, they can protect themselves from a tyrannical government, and that's really kind of, that's a little bit too hopeful, because to tell you the truth, if you take your hunting rifle and you put it up against the army, it's like having a slingshot against a gorilla. I mean, their guns make your gun look like nothing. So, when they come, when the tyrannical government happens, you won't be defending yourself with guns. The only thing that you can possibly defend yourself with is organization and political activism, and popular uprising. If they come for your guns, you don't want to get into a firefight with the SWAT teams and the army soldiers and the mercenaries that are there to disarm you. they will kill you quickly and move on to the next house. That's what's going to happen. So that's not the way to go if you want to resist tyranny. But I still believe people have the right to guns. So getting back to the point, Chomsky thinks that people shouldn't have guns because there's too many people being killed, and Alex Jones disagrees with him. But a lot of what Alex Jones says, Chomsky agrees with, and he's very agreeable, and yeah, you're right about certain things. So when Chomsky was finished with the interview, Alex Jones said, "There you have it, folks. Chomsky is a shill and a fraud. He is a tool of the New World Order. He is a disinformation agent," on and on and on, simply because Chomsky disagreed with him about guns. So, I mean, I thought that was pretty alarmist and just ridiculous that he would say those things about Noam Chomsky just because he had disagreed with him. It doesn't make him a government agent. Certainly Chomsky is the premier American dissident, right now, maybe of all time. He is certainly no tool of the government, I can tell you that. I would take anything that Jones says with a grain of salt, but I was on his, listening to his radio show today, and he talked to Webster Tarpley, and they started talking about the Governor General of Canada. And you might want to ask yourself, what the heck is a Governor General? Well, it turns out that the Governor General is the Viceroy, what used to be called the Viceroy of Canada. And all of the nations that are now supposedly free, that were part of the United Kingdom, have Governors General. And now, the media, and what I would suggest to you is, when you think about this, when you think about the media, don't say the media. Don't think the media, because that's not really what it is. If you want to think about it correctly, think the corporations, okay? Because that's what you're hearing. The media are 5 corporations who speak to you about their own agenda or what they want you to think. So the corporations said that Harper prorogued the Canadian Parliament, and prorogued Parliament means that you cut the parliamentary session short without dissolving it. But for all intents and purposes, it might as well be dissolved because they're not meeting until January 26th, so they can't do anything. So the media, or the corporations told us that Harper had prorogued Canadian Parliament until January 26th because he was about to get voted out. But when they started talking about this on Alex Jones, they were talking about the Governor General of Canada had prorogued Parliament and sent them packing. And the Governor General is the personal representative of Queen Elizabeth, who supposedly has no power. She's a figurehead. Now you want to ask yourself, why is it possible for the personal lackey of a figurehead with no power to disband the Parliament of another country, and the people of that country can't do anything about it? The people in Canada cannot do anything about this. They're just sitting around twiddling their thumbs until January 26th, when Parliament is allowed to be back in session. So this seemed like an incredible claim to me. So I did a little research on it, and I came up with this article in Canadian Corporation, which actually hints at the exact same thing. It doesn't come out and say it, but it hints at it. It says, Ottawa, Prime Minister Stephen Harper won an 8-week-long stay of political execution Thursday, but his conservative government's near-death experience leaves behind a deeply wounded and divided Parliament. Harper convinced Governor General Michel Jean to pull the plug on the House of Commons. So there you have it, folks. According to this article by the media, or the corporation, the Governor General of England disbanded this session of Canadian Parliament. Thanks for watching.